feel like we've been focused more on the primary
Hmm.
goal, which is efficient, effective learning, and in part of making that successful is that the students can learn at a good rate and be successful learning, right? So that makes
Yeah.
you feel good. Okay, I'm acquiring the skill. I learned this thing I didn't know how to do, and I did it again and again. It's like, okay, well, this works. Even for a kid, they're like, okay, well, that works. Um, what we do need to work on is making it a little more enjoyable. We can make it. We've reduced on making it not painful, but that doesn't mean that there isn't room to make it more engaging, more fun. And we've
Right.
we almost purposefully ignored that because that's kind of the easy part. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
there's a
Well,
lot you can
it's the
do.
part that's like, if you start out with that, that doesn't work. Like you can't have that and not have performance improvement. You can have performance improvement and not really have so much enjoyment. And it's like it's a real thing. People will benefit from it, but you're gonna increase your surface area and make people have a better time if you focus on the enjoyment part after. But the enjoyment part is like the icing on the cake there. And
100%. Yeah. And so we've kind
yeah.
of,
Yeah, I know we're kind of hardcore, right? It's like you
kind of
complete a
hardcore. And, it's almost funny how hardcore it's like a little ridiculous. I mean,
yeah.
I remember, I got an email from a friend of mine, Jeff, and he's like, this is like a couple years ago. Jason, you made my daughter cry. I'm like, what? It's like she got like negative XP on something.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, we got to work on. There's some things we can do. I mean,
Yeah.
not that negative XP needs to be a thing. It needs to be a thing, but there needs to be probably warnings about it. That hey, be careful. You can get negative penalty if you keep guessing or you're rushing, or you fail too many lessons in a row, or something like that. And we make more positive feedback. And there's things we can do to make it a little more engaging, a little more fun, a little more game
Yeah.
like that won't take away from learning at all. It'll just it's like let's put a little sugar on the medicine,
Why don't we talk about some of those specific things? Because we've got a lot of ideas on that front, and
Mhm.
I mean that's one actually a common question that we get
Mhm.
on Twitter X is kind of like how like do you think you can make the experience like more enjoyable for learners without like becoming like one of those edutainment companies? Like
Yeah,
what?
because
How do we thread the
that's the
needle?
risk, right?
Yeah.
You optimize too much for the fun, and then you taught the students that things are fun and they don't necessarily and they can't really be hard, right? It's sort of like one of the rules for being an effective teacher is, and it's just sort of it's kind of a joke, but say don't smile until Christmas break. I mean, like, you got to be all business. If you come in, you're like, "Hey, we're all friends." Kids don't take you seriously. They're not. It's a battle all year long to keep them focused, listening, not talking, not interrupt. Whatever, doing all misbehaving, taking their homework seriously. Whatever. And you can't go from being this lax teacher that the kids don't respect, because that's what happened. The teachers sometimes the kids will like, oh, they're nice, but they also don't respect teachers like that. They don't realize, they think we're all just friends, that they know they're not really learning, and they know you're not a good teacher. um you can't say, all right, now I'm serious. I come back from Christmas break, like maybe the principal came down and said, look, I mean, I'm looking at these tests, this stuff doesn't look good, you gotta bang bang. And then the teacher's like, okay, you're like a teacher, you go, you're like, decide you're going to be a hard ass or something.
Yeah. There's a directionality to it. You can't recover from being a pushover. Once you're a pushover at the beginning and then you become a hard ass, like it
The
just
kids
keeps
are
you
like, yeah,
more.
right. They just roll their
They,
eyes.
yeah.
It happened to me when I was in high school. I can't remember this teacher, and she was like started out like that, and she's like, she realized she was a young teacher, a first year teacher or something, and she just graduated from college, and she was going to be our friends, and we didn't take her seriously, and because she wasn't a serious person, and so we didn't respect her. We didn't like hate her, and then when she started to be like a hard ass, then we hated her, right? And she was one of our
Yeah.
biology. There were two biology teachers. The other biology teacher, who was older, she was all business. There's no messing around with Susan Radford was her name. She was all business, and you're like, pay attention. You did what you're supposed to do, and she would lighten up a little as the year go on. Occasionally, she'd smile a little bit and be like, I mean, everyone sees she's mean, but she was. you did not mess with her. And then she could lighten up when she needed to, and then you loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the most important thing for a teacher is not that they love you, is that they respect you and they do what they're supposed to do and they take their work seriously. That's the important thing, especially in like middle school and high school, because then the kids testing boundaries and they're 15, 16, you don't want to be in school, you want to go mess, you want to do anything but sit in your freaking biology class, right? Even if you're a good
Yeah.
student, you're like this, I don't want to be here, right? So that model, any really good teacher understands this fundamentally. You can't, not that you can't do some fun things, but you have to instill respect from day one. I understand you are not to be messed with. And then you can lighten up over time, but they are boundaries, there are expectations, and there are consequences, and there are rewards. You start out, we're like, we're all friends, and isn't this just a wonderful subject? Finally, the kids are like, okay, whatever. Well, okay, we're gonna blow this off, right? And then, so yeah, so if you transpose that onto a learning app, and you're like, oh, we're fun and this and dancing baloney, and the kids are like, whatever, and then you're like, all right, now we're gonna start learning hard. The kids are like, oh, this is stupid. I
Yeah.
hate now. It used to be fun. No, I hate it. You know, but
Yeah.
we can go from the teacher that was a hard ass, and we can lighten it up a little bit. People are like, oh, I think my daughter likes it a little more. It's kind of fun. I think these things you added are really made it a lot nicer. That's how it's gonna go, I think. Anyway, that's
Yeah. Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
This just in general. That's just sort of my analogy. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know me, I spend a lot of times going through analogies for whatever reason. Everything is analogous to everything else to me. So I'm always like, well, it's just like this. It's just like that.
Supplied isomorphism theory.
I do it to a fault. I need to dial it back sometimes. But yeah. So when it comes to the app, he's like, look, as you said, we're not here to just build a fake learning app. Like, oh, I got this math app, my kids, and it's better that they're doing this than they're on, playing whatever video games. It's educational, but that kind of stuff. It's like when they eat food that you all know tastes good but isn't healthy, and the parents kind of eventually realize that this is a waste. And then the kid it's still not as fun as a video game, and they're not really learning anything. So it's like, okay, what are we paying for? This is dumb. So now that's a short-term win, long-term loss. Like you can get a lot of users and maybe build up a company and get funding and stuff because you make this sort of engaging, not super serious education app. It's better than video games. But you said earlier, we're playing the long game, which is be really, really serious about the educational outcome. And by doing that, and be focusing most of our efforts, or practically 99% of our efforts on that, and not on making it as engaging, as fun as it could be, means we're a little harsh, a little stark. There's a lot we can do, but that's the easy stuff. I think like it's kind of fun. That's the fun stuff. It is actually kind of fun.
It seems like the first order improvement on just making things a little less less hard
It's hardcore,
less aggressive, less harsh. Yeah, less harsh is really just like adding more communication about like what are the rules, what's happening. Like I'm just thinking about the negative XP story, like making the daughter cry. Like we added a honeymoon phase, right? I think that was when like you were like, okay, we gotta kind of ramp up these XP penalties over time.
Right.
Like
you can't
start
come out
out
of the guest and get backhanded like, in the first week.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You didn't have some success first, and parents like, oh, my daughter's actually really learning, and then it's a month later or 2 months later that they get negative XP, and they're like, and everybody goes, where this app is terrible. My daughter kind of upset. It's like, okay, now this thing is really good. Okay, sweetheart, why do you think you got negative XP?
Yeah.
Oh, it looks like you guessed on all these. And the mom's like, okay, look, I'm going to give the little credibility or a little bit of space for this app. It's trying and know it's effective. Now, the question is, of course, can we still have it be as effective by just even minimizing that even? Can we thread the needle even more?
I think the before we worry about like even toning down like negative penalties even more. I think part of it is like just communicating to people like hey, you're in the honeymoon moon phase. Like you lucked out just getting a 0 on this task.
This would have been
If you keep
worse.
this up, this is going to be a -10. Like just telling you now. And we give people like lots and lots of time to kind of get adjusted to this. It's like I think your first 3 negative penalties get capped at just it goes down to 0, and then the next 3 are like at -1, and then the next 3 are at -2. So you got this slow ramp up. But I don't think people realize like just like what they're getting into. Yeah, well, like if you're getting negative XP and it's starting to ramp up, like they need to know like,
Yeah.
hey, like this is bad. Like we are artificially capping your penalties at this point. And
Well,
the kids especially, like right, like they're not really paying attention that much. Like they're just like click 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 click.
it's you think about the teacher. It's like I use the analogy of the teacher. So the Sears teacher, class is over. You got a C on your test or quiz, and you walk out, and the teacher goes, "Jason," you're like,
Yeah.
come here. I need to talk to you for a second. You're like, yeah. He's like, you know, I shouldn't give you any credit. I should have gotten you a 0 on this. You're like, I told you to put a circle around all your or whatever. His instructions were, and I just ignored them. Next time you're getting a 0. You're like, okay. Now, if you give me a 0 the first time, I'd be like, really? I mean, I got like most of the questions right. I mean, I got a C or C plus, and I mean, I could have done better. But a 0 because I didn't put a box or a circle around my answers. And he gave us explicit instructions: put a circle or box answer. I'm not going to count it. He gave me a pass. They warned me next time, and I can't really get mad, right? And that's kind of it. It's like, okay, I'm telling you these are the rules, and I'm going to have my expectations. I'm gonna give you a little bit pass first time, but I'm reminding you. So I think that's kind of the analogy is that
Yeah.
we do that kind of thing. And of course, we can do it a little more. We can make it a little more of a thing. But the other analogy I use, if you'll
Yeah,
give me
let's do
the
it. Go to the analogy zoo. I'm there like every day on our phone calls, so might as well bring everyone else
go
there.
another one, if you'll humor me. Okay, so I say that our Math Academy right now is like, I would say it's like Yuri's gym, where Yuri is some strength conditioning coach from, I don't know, let's say Russia, who used to coach Olympic athletes, and has like this basement gym where a lot of very serious people go to work out. Like, let's say you're walking down the street and you see a buddy you just haven't seen in 8 or 9 months, and you're like, dude, you look amazing. Well, what happened? You like looked like you'd lost like 30 pounds. I mean, you look like you're jacked, and he's like, oh man, I started working at Yuri's. I'm like, what's Yuri's? He's like, well, he's this strength conditioning coach. He's got this. He's this Russian guy. He's used to work with the Olympic hockey team or weightlifting team or something. And you're like, man, I should. He's like, well, if you want to join, I mean, it's just down the street. Just go. It's underground. There's not a sign there. It's
Just
seven.
knock on the door.
It's not gonna, go in. And so you're like, oh hell yeah. So then you go there. You're like, I want those results. And you walk in, and there's like, it's just a door and like a hallway, and then it opens up, and it's just like this bunch of benches and weights. There's no like front desk. There's no juice bar. There's no little place where you can buy clothes. There's no membership director. Like, there's not even air conditioning. There's no Pilates. There's no yoga room. It's just a bunch of weights and some other open areas that people working with kettlebells and dumbbells or whatever other painful looking instruments. And someone walks up to you and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" So, my buddy so and so said. He's like, "Oh, okay. Look, well, I'll tell you what. Just show up next week. It's $100 a month or whatever. That's the workout. Actually, let me come here. Let me just take a look at you. You're going to try this, try this. He goes to put you through some things. He says, all right, here's your workout on the board. You're falling to this group. You're in group 7. based on your strength, do this. And you go do it. And then Yuri is this old crusty old guy who's just sitting there. And Yuri doesn't even talk to you. And he's like, should I talk to Yuri? And he's like, Yuri will talk to you when he's ready to talk to you. You're like, okay. And so, a few months go by, you're getting fit, and you're like, you're looking for something from Yuri. You're looking for like a good job or keep up the good work, or he doesn't say anything because he doesn't care. He's like, you have not proven yourself yet. And then you go up on a whole nother level, and finally he comes up and he's like, add more weight. And you're like, okay. and someone else goes, that's about as good it gets from Yuri. You're like, okay. But you look at everybody in there, and everyone looks like they're about to audition for a superhero role. Like everybody, men, women, everybody looks super fit. You're like, okay. I mean, it works. It's a little harsh. There's no air conditioning in here. There's no heater. There's no front desk, whatever. But I have this custom fit workout protocol or whatever. And, so we're kind of Yuri's right now. We're the basement gym. We're harsher than we need to be, starker than we need to be, but it works. And I think, all things being equal, it's not, Yuri probably is like, doesn't have to be like, this is all he could afford. And he's just like, I just need to get this gym going. And if he had a business partner say, hey, why don't we get a bigger space? We actually have some air conditioning. And so we can have both. I mean, we can have air conditioning. We can actually have a locker room instead of just this.
None of those things impede performance.
None of them.
It's a completely orthogonal. Like, we can do that.
Yeah, we just have this tiny little bathroom people have to change in. Like one bathroom, right? It's like we can, and then you're there, it's whatever. So, but that builds a better business. People stick around longer because, hey, I love working out with Yuri's. I can actually go from work and change there. And because sometimes I have to go somewhere after there, I have business things. And so now it's easier for, whatever. So I might be going a little long with the analogy, but I'll just say is that I'm fully aware of how many niceties we might be lacking and that we could and should add, and we will add. But the most important thing was getting a result, which at Yuri's, you're going to get a result. No question about it. You're going to get a huge result. Then people are going to come up to you and go, man, what the hell? You look like you're going off the Olympic team. A couple weeks ago, I thought you were pre-diabetic. Now look at you. You're like, shit works.
Yeah.
It works. You just gotta show up and put in a full effort on the workout, and it'll happen. It's pretty much all you gotta do. So anyway.
So this is one component of the Ultimate Math platform. Mm-hmm. Our vision is the Ultimate Math platform. What does that entail? Well, that entails maximizing performance improvement, which we have been optimizing up to this point. And it entails making it as enjoyable as possible along that orthogonal axis that doesn't detract from performance improvement. Right. So not the edutainment axis, but the let's get air conditioning in this gym. Maybe Yuri can say something a little bit more
positive every once in a while.
Positive to a little bit more motivational. He can say not just add more weight, not just here's the plate, but actually good job, look how far you've come. This was you last month, now you're this far. This is what you were doing when you first joined, you first walked in here, we took a picture of you and this is what you look like now, look at you. All that sort of stuff. So what other axes do you think there are in this ultimate math learning platform?
Well, one thing I wanted to say about this, but you have to be careful when you make the transition that you don't lose your soul and become corporate, right? Mm-hmm. So if you go to Yuri's and says, man, back in the day, Yuri's was hardcore. Now it's like, Yuri's not even here anymore. And it's not what it was, right? So you can't sacrifice or give up the essence, which when things become about the money and you're just trying to make everybody feel good, it can turn into that. So we just have to say, look, we're not about maximizing financial outcome. The money will come. if you deliver value for people. It's as simple as that. And since we don't have any outside investors, we can make that choice, that conscious choice to say we're not going to give in to easy shortcuts and things to just make it nice while sacrificing results, quality of the education.